I'm Julie Nuclei, and this is a quick video on the House of Fun. The House of Fun is probably my favorite house of the zodiac at this moment, just because it's this bright, happy house where our life gets infused with new energy, and we really start living for the joy of being alive, and we start enjoying being ourselves, expressing ourselves, being more energetic and dynamic, and it's just about happiness, really. It's kind of like a rebirth. So the main categories that this house encompasses are romance. It's about the early phases of a relationship where it's all about fun and romance and bubbly feelings, right? I mean, it can occur at any time in a relationship, though. It doesn't have to just be at the beginning. But that's how we tend to work things. Then secondly, it's about self-expression and creativity, like especially things that have a performative aspect, like dancing on a stage or, publicly expressing yourself. But it can also be expressing yourself in less public ways, like through crafts or just any form of creativity that brings you joy and fun. And then it's also about the house of anything we do for recreation and pleasure, whether that's gambling or intertubing or whatever it is that we do just because we like it. And then lastly, it is the house of children. So things happening to children, or to our children, or working with children, all that stuff takes place in this house. And it's one of the safer planets, it's one of the safer houses for bad planets to be in, but that doesn't mean that bad things can't happen in this house. They can, but they might happen to our children, or it could be like if we're having a dark planet moving through this house, then we might fall in love with like a dark, scary person. Because just because something's happening as a transit doesn't save you from the impacts of it, right? It's like if you have a transit that makes you attracted to having sex with people with AIDS, it doesn't make you any less likely to get AIDS, right? Like all the normal rules of reality still apply. And looking at this house from that lens, you can kind of start to see its good and bad sides, because we all know how fun itself can be a double-edged sword, right? It's like we can seek fun in ways that are ultimately destructive to us, and that can happen in this house as well. Or we can seek fun in ways that are kind of neutral, but at the end of the day, they are maybe a waste of our time, like you could fall in love with someone that is sort of a dead-end relationship, and so you might become invested emotionally, but then ultimately it just leaves you, with nothing. So it's like this house can have a quality of investing in things that kind of just disappear, right? But that's what I think is the most important thing to consider with this house, is that out of the entire zodiac, you get 1/12 of the house, 1/12 of the zodiac that is the place of sunshine, right? So this is like really precious energy. It's fun, joy, sunshine coming into our lives. It's precious, and it doesn't last forever. So in my opinion, when we're having transits entering this house, we should really think about like, what do we value, like what really means something to us, and then we should try to give the sunshine and give the fun to those things in our life which we see as truly valuable. Whether it is like starting a dream during this, fulfilling a dream that we have during this time, or whether it's feeding that fun energy into relationships that we really value, or perhaps into pursuits that are really meaningful for us, or if it's about starting a new relationship, it can be about, because it makes romances a lot more likely to happen, right? But if you take time before these transits to think about like, what type of person am I looking for? What do I really value in relationships? Then you can focus on having this fun romantic energy go into a relationship that will truly benefit you in life, that will carry forward with you, or at least impart things into you that are valuable enough that you will carry them forward. So to me, one of the main things about this house is trying to funnel that fun and that sunshine in directions that are truly valuable, so that you'll like store up a battery of sunshine that you'll have with you once planets leave this house. You know what I mean? Rather than just having some fun, but once it's over, and you don't really have much to show for it. So an example might be, like, let's say you felt your life purpose was paleontology, and you're having House of Fun transits. You could, like, go to the circus and jerk off or something, right? Or maybe you could do something like you start doing paleontology presentations with children or something, and that'd be a House of Fun thing. But that might carry you forward longer. Like, that might be something that you would keep once the planets leave the house, and that would bring an added dimension of meaning into your life, that would connect you with people that would be meaningful to you. So it's like you could use this transit to really feed energy into meaningful pursuits and meaningful relationships. Or you can use a transit just to, like, kind of be selfish and do things that are easy. And I mean, I do think there's a time when it's good just to have fun just for the sake of having fun. It doesn't have to have any deeper meaning to it, right? But at the same time, fun and romance are not something we can always rely on to be there for us. So I also feel it makes sense to funnel that sunny energy into things that we feel do have long-term value and that will be there for us in the long term. Because after the House of Fun comes a House of Work, right? So it's like, are the things that you're creating and feeding during the House of Fun, are these things that are valuable enough that you would be willing to work for them, that you would be willing to slave for them, that you would still value them if they weren't fun anymore? Because those are the sorts of things that are going to carry forward. So it's like a question I feel like we should ask ourselves is, am I investing this fun, romantic energy in things that I care about enough, that I love enough, that I value enough, that I would want to serve them, right? Like, it might be fun to get knocked up or something, but it's going to be followed by a period of service, right? So it's like, I feel with everything in this house, you want to consider, is this something I value enough that I would want to be a servant to it? Or is it something that exists whose value is solely to pleasure me and it has no deeper value? And if it's that sort of thing, then, you know, that's not bad, but at the same time, I feel like we're maybe missing an opportunity a little bit if our House of Fun time is spent all on things that we don't really value that much, other than like some cheap pleasure. And I'm going to stop there because I feel like that idea is really important. There's lots of transits in astrology that can bring some brightness and ease into our life, but it can end up being kind of trivial if we just go into it without any thought or any intention about what we truly care about. And those are times when, if we do consider what really matters to us, we can truly feed it energy, and then have something that follows us through life, bringing us benefits long after the transits have passed. So this was a video on the House of Fun, and I'm Julie Neckley. Thank you. Bye.